Hey, everybody. I'm laughing because this has been a crazy kind of setup. We got guests running late. We got my light that fell off the stand. It is Friday and we are here. However, we are here. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for logging in. My name is C. I'm the owner of CLM Custom Designs on Etsy as well as YouTube. And my channel is All Things Crafting. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Come on in, take a seat, get ready to learn something. We are doing our live interview this week with A and O. A is running a little bit late, so we do have O here. So let's take care of some housekeeping first. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go and subscribe now so you don't miss anything that happens on this channel. Make sure you comment, join us in the chat, and share our content with anyone else who you think could benefit. Now that all of that is out of the way, and I guess I should also say thank you for all my supporters. I have finally hit 500 subscribers. That is a huge deal to me, maybe not to you, but I am overly excited because I feel like I have been sitting and watching the pot. You know, they say a watch pot never boils, and I feel like that's where I've been. And then all of a sudden, boom, there it was. So I am so excited about that. Thank you to all my supporters. Now, with that out of the way, well, introduce yourself. They've seen you before, but
Hi, my name is Olivia, and I'm super excited to be back on the channel. If you guys didn't know, I did an interview solo with Carla a couple of weeks ago or about a month ago now. And so I'm happy to be back with the A&O show. And so just a little bit about myself. I am a creative. I also have a YouTube channel and I create handmade polymer jewelry and all types of accessories. I'm now getting into making bracelets, necklaces, and all the things. So I'm just a crafty person myself. So I have a channel, and then with Amber, we have a channel together, and it's called the A&O Show. And on that channel, we are focused on content creation and helping other people learn how to create content. And then we also have a podcast. We just started back our A&O show. That's like where everything began for us recording wise together and even creating our own channel. And so we just started back up. We just started that back up. We recorded our video, and so that should be launching soon. So I'm super excited for you guys to be able to come and visit us. So if you are looking for just some good, our new A&O show isn't going to be so much about content creation. It's just really going to be about trending topics, what we love, and what we talk about all the time on our long FaceTimes. We're really just going to be kind of bringing you guys behind the scenes, and we got cool segments and all the things. So I'm
all
excited
right.
for
All
it.
right. And you should remember Amber because Amber was on 2 weeks ago talking about herself. So she'll be joining us shortly. She's actually in the chat. She says, I'm almost at home and then I'm going to jump on. I tell you guys, this is real life. This is what happens. Life happens. Content creators still have kids. They still have husbands. They have, groceries
Yeah.
and all kind of things to do. So this is just how it happens. And you
Yeah.
know me, my content is real, so I'll give it to you the way I get it. So there you go. That's the way it is. So she'll be joining us shortly. But anyway, you can go ahead and get started. Just talking a little bit maybe about how you and Amber kind of linked up
Met.
to,
Yeah.
or yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, I can definitely talk about that. So Amber and I, we actually met. I used to manage a bridal store, and so Amber represented a makeup company, and so she came into the bridal store to do makeup and try to get to know our brides to, do their makeups for their wedding or bridal shoots and all of that, all of those things. So we met there actually. The owner of the store, he had put a call out for looking for just anybody who wanted to come in and connect with our brides. But it was kind of a win-win situation because they were the face and they greeted our brides when they walked in. And then we had the opportunity then they had the opportunity to connect with the brides and all of those things. So that's how we actually met. So me and Amber used to spend Saturdays mornings together in the bridal store, and we just we was when there was slow moments, we would just be talking about business and marketing and all the things, and that's kind of where our relationship and friendship was born at the
How
bridal
long ago was
store.
that? How long ago was that?
That was in 2016. 2016. I'm
Okay.
always like, when was it? I think it was 2016.
Cool.
Yeah, about
Um,
2016.
so tell me how you know, right? Because this is the thing. A lot of people have great ideas. A lot of people want to collaborate with people and they think,
Mhm.
oh, this will be great. I really hate this lighting. I don't know what's happening today. So sorry if I'm distracted because I'm not happy with my lighting. But anyway, how do you know when it's like the right business partner for like how do you know like this could be a thing?
Yeah. Okay, so I think this is how it kind of went down. So Amber, after we had worked together a couple of times at the bridal store and started to get to know each other, we would be coming in to work and she'd be like, "Hey, I'm stopping by Bojangles. You want me to bring you something?" Or I would
You
call
know,
her and say,
Bojangles.
"Hey, you want me to bring you something?" So, I feel like we were both equally like friendly people and just good people. So I feel like we both saw that in each other to start with. We were just very kind and considerate to each other. And then after that, she invited me to her studio, and so I started to get to know her and the product that she carried, and then we started having conversations about her business, and I started kind of telling her, "Oh, like have you thought about this?" And I actually introduced her to YouTube because at the time she wasn't creating video the way she does it today. She was doing lives and things like that, but this is kind of right around when the Facebook Live started. They were just brand new and YouTube had been out, but that type of thing was brand new. And so she was doing that, but she hadn't really tapped into the YouTube realm as of yet. So I really was like, just her personality and just how she was and bubbly, I was like, you'd be amazing on YouTube. So that's kind of how it started. And as I started to like coach her and help her and mentor her through that process, we she started the YouTube channel. And so people, after she started, her channel was very successful. She had a huge following. People, we would go places and people start to notice us in the stores, or
Mhm.
even when we would go out of town to like conferences and things, we were like, "Oh my gosh, I know you guys," or whatever, because I would be, she started her channel, and a lot of times she would either talk about me on her channel or I would be on the channel with her. So from that, people start. So number one, because we were working together to launch her channel and do her channel, we just noticed that we had very similar almost personalities, and also we were just I don't even know how to explain it, but I feel like we just work. Like I have another friend, her name is Courage, and we worked together on a ton of projects before. We always have worked together. And people would come in, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, y'all are so great. I want to work with y'all." But they couldn't stick with it. They would just flake off after like a couple of months. But Amber, she was like literally the only person like that just stuck with us, like had the same work ethic as us. We just I don't know, we just gelled. And so when it came to starting A&O, the reason why it was all born is because people started asking her like, "I love your channel. How did you do this? The graphics, the logos, just how everything is presented on her channel." People started to notice that and was asking her like, "How do you do it? Like, teach me how you do it." And she was like, "Actually, I don't even do any of this." At that time, she didn't do any of it. She was like, "I don't even do any of it. I didn't do any of it. So you guys need to talk to Olivia." And so she started referring people to me that way. And then, from that, I would have conversations with those people, and I would realize that they needed more than just the branding, because they were seeing like the branding of her channel and just herself being branded and just really her building that personal brand. They were seeing that, and so they were coming to me for the personal branding. But I was noticing that the questions that they had, just everything about what they were saying to me, they needed more. Like they needed more than just me to create some logos for them. They really need to know how to navigate the platform, how to navigate editing, how to navigate even just how to make a video that is going to be, entertaining or educational or something like really draw people in. And so that's what I really noticed. And so from that, people, asked us. And so that's how we created our first program. Just merely because people were asking us for it. It's not something that we even were like, oh, let's go into business and how everything is presented on our channel. There you go. I was like,
yeah, y'all might need to hang up from each other.
So it wasn't anything that, we said, oh, let's do this or we should do this. It came solely because people asked us, and once I started working with people alone, I really realized that people needed more. Like, they weren't confident when it came to getting on camera, and I felt like Amber, that was her strong suit, like how to really present yourself and really how to carry yourself throughout your videos. I thought that was her strong point. So then we kind of got together and I brought my branding, and then she brought like her knowledge and personality and really how to get people there confident and just really be able to get on camera and not feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to put this out. They feel very comfortable and confident with the results. So that's kind of how we became a team and started working together. And I think it was just organic, and I think the Lord just really put us together, because I don't think it's something that we could have planned. It just happened very organically and just out of necessity for what our people wanted from us.
Okay, well, now the person of the hour has arrived. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, and Carla, I have to say congratulations on hitting 500. We are like, we know now, like 1,000 to 2,000, that's going to just like come in, because that's exactly how Olivia felt the subscribers coming through. Anyways, I'm in awe. But thank y'all, and thank you for your channel to be so relaxed, because Olivia was like, just a reminder, and I was like, yeah, my thing says 708. So I was
well, what was hilarious when she was saying, oh, we're so much alike, I was thinking, I'm more thinking opposites attract, because that is just a testament to your guys' personality. She's on time early and you kind of show up when you get there. So, but anyway.
Oh gosh, I was really flooring it. I'm back, right? I spoke so highly of you, Carla, the week I was interviewed, because your interviews are just such a great conversation. So I'm really happy to be here again. But I kind of lead in beauty. I love beauty. And so I show up online doing beauty. That's not always where I have been, though. I've been in the field, but more in the last few years, I just show up online. I make my own product now, which I never thought was going to be really a reality. I always dreamed of, like, in conversation with Olivia, knowing like, oh, one day we could do this for sure. But like being able to do it myself by hand at home is really cool. So that's what I do. And then finally we can talk about each other, because what we do individually really actually, it's a big difference of how we work together, right? Our success individually, like, we just really lean in on each other for opinions or thoughts or just support. And yeah, I'm excited to share more of that.
I'm sorry. I was saying, Serena had a comment saying that Carla's always relaxed and poised, make us relax. Okay, yeah. Put on your robe, get your slippers on, do what you got to do, get your drink, and that's how we're gonna roll over here. Anyway, yeah. So I love the fact that you said it was organically right place at the right time, right? And each one of you brought something equal to the table, because for any good partnership, everybody has to bring something to the table, right? Can't be topsy-turvy. It has to be kind of an equal type of relationship. So you find out what your strengths are, and you play to what your strengths are. Olivia was behind the scenes, Amber was in front of the scenes, and you match that together, and it works out really, really great. So when you're looking for someone to partner with, I think the first thing you should do is kind of figure out what the strengths are, because not everybody's going to be in that organic situation that you guys were in, just happen to be working in, the same place. So if you're looking for someone to partner with, to team up with, I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think to find out what each person's strengths are, to be able to kind of make that work. Because if you got two people strong on the same thing, I mean, that's great, but that's not going to drive the bus, right? So yeah, that's one thing that I think definitely you should be looking for.
Yeah, I think 100% finding someone who, maybe they're not good at one thing, but you really excel at that thing. Because I think, like you said, when you put those two people together, I mean, that makes an unstoppable team. So just really figuring out. And sometimes I feel like people think that, you know, it's okay to, I want to say it's okay to, like, if you find a partner and it's like you work with them and you're like, it's not, it's okay to be like, no, I don't think we're going to work. Like, people are like, oh, I'm stuck with this person. But I'm like, no, if it works. And I'm all about, one of the things that I love to do is I'm all about, like, I never really jump into to most things, like, especially when it comes to these things. I always like fill it out. Like with me and Amber, we didn't just meet and say, oh my gosh, we're about to become business partners. That's not how it happened. We met in 2016. We did not launch A&O until like end of 2019, beginning of 2020. So with that being said, we were able to build a relationship and a rapport over a couple years before we even, now we were working on her channel together, but it wasn't the partnership that we have today. So what I would say is take your time. You don't have to make rash decisions, especially if you don't know that like if you haven't known that person for a while prior to you working with that person. You might want to just take some time and really get to know them and work together on projects that's not like, financially binding or something like that, so that you can see like, okay, how does this work line up? And also, I think whenever you're finding people to work with, make sure you guys, your morals and standards align with with each other, right? So that if you are one way, and if you don't, I think, because all the time, me and Amber, when we working together, we don't agree on 100% on everything that we do with each other, but we're both very respectful, so that if she says, oh, I want to do this, and I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. like, well, you shouldn't do that. And then I can explain my point, and then she can be like, most times she's like, okay, well, I understand why you said that. And most times I'm like, this is what I feel, but we can do it if you want to. Like, I'm very, I feel like you can't have two, like, headstrong people, button heads, want to be the boss. You also have to compromise with each other. So you can't just be like, oh, we're doing it this way. Like, and I will say, like, oh, we can try it out and see how it works. And if it works, it works. If it don't, then we ain't doing it no more.
You want to speak to that, Amber?
Yeah, I have to say what Olivia spoke about earlier, and that is like, don't force it. Take your time with kind of building a rapport with someone before you just like jump into a full-blown business relationship. What happened to Olivia and I, it really was just so natural. And I think from what we hear from women that we have coached, or just women in our community that know us on a personal level, it is kind of an envious thing. They're like, I wish I had a friend like that, or I wish I could run a business with someone like that I could trust. And I think that it's so far and few and in between, to be honest, because how it happened for us was, it was the respect. And I respect Olivia so much. So if she decided to run the show, I have full confidence that it will be done, and it will be done well. And I feel certain that she feels the same for me. If she's like, you're in control of this, make it happen, then we would do it, because we just respect so much of each other. It's like a relationship with a husband or a spouse or whatever. It's just like a best friend. They have your back. Even if it looks good or not, you're going to go ride or die. And so I think that just knowing that is there before anything else, and to legit be business partners on paper, I think is one thing. But before that, I feel like we felt as though we were business partners, because everything that we did, we kind of leaned in on each other, and we were like, what do you think about this? Is this a good investment? Is this a good idea? Like, we really went back and forth a lot with one another on making decisions. The only thing that changed was the legal binding part, and then when that happened, nothing really changed, because naturally the dynamic was there, and honestly, people asked for it. I think when you force something so hard that nobody wants, it becomes a challenge and very difficult, and it's not fun for you. And we were doing it already because we enjoyed what we did with work, with content creation. So to do it now as a business together to help other women, they wanted it and we were on board to help them. And we're like, listen, we'll just show you what we did. And that's what it was. I mean, it still to this day just feels very like effortless in a sense because it's just like in our being. You know what I mean? It's just who we are. And I was listening to the show pre getting on camera with you guys. And you're right. Like we just from the beginning, do you want something? I'll pick it up and grab it for you. I think that sometimes you force friendships and it's a one-sided, and ours was always very mutual.
Good job. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm sure people are envious of that because we would all like to have a like-minded business partner who can bring, equal to the table. So yeah, definitely. So let's talk a little bit about what you do. So you kind of glossed over it. We content create, whatever, but what is that? What really do you do? As a
yeah, Olivia started all of it because she's the one that got me in trouble, man. She was like, Amber, you should do YouTube. And I immediately declined it. I thought it was very far-fetched for me. I was like, that's like serious and that's like big time. And I have to be like invited to do that. Like, I have to be somebody. And I really honestly thought YouTube had to like really invite you to be on that platform. That's what I thought. I had no clue. And so now knowing how she started that, it was just the dynamic of going like, you've got to do what you're doing in person with women, but just put a camera in front of your face. Because now you can really be in other homes and speak to so many other women on a broader spectrum of that. So she really started coaching me. We had no idea that it would turn into, oh, we've learned so much through the experience. Let's kind of teach other women. It really was. I'm a student still, like we're always still learning and evolving. The platform is forever changing. And online social media is like never, there's just always going to be something new. And so for me, it became really, really fun to figure out how I could excel on a larger scale than really being in front of someone, because the time that you spend one-on-one or even a group setting, you could do that and multiply that. And that's kind of where it went for me, is how can I just multiply the amount of clients, multiply the amount of sales of product, multiply the income that potentially can come in from reaching a larger audience. And so she just kept teaching me different techniques to do every week. She would learn something new and she brought it back to me as a student. I always have to tell y'all, allow yourself to be a sponge. And when you get to a place where you know it all, then you're annoying to work with. Like no one wants to work with you when you know everything. It's so aggravating. So constantly just really humble yourself with whatever you do in your career and be open to hearing from someone else's experience or even something they read or watched. And everything Olivia said, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to do that. And I did it and I implemented it like right away. I never waited, because I felt as though if I waited, I would forget, or I would just be like, that's not important. And I always thought, why not try it? And I always tried it and it always worked. And so that's really how it became. She coached me without probably knowing she was like really coaching me. It was like mentorship, friendship. Let me help you. I know a lot. I don't think Olivia came into it like I'm a coach for you, but then that's really what happened. And so from there, I was learning so much and felt very like equipped, like, oh my gosh, I can edit a video now. I know how to upload it on the channel. And I just kept learning a little things like that, how to link stuff in the description and how to share a video on YouTube, like, little things. So it became very much like, and how to attract the audience with your voice and your face and your expressions on a camera and those type of things that she taught me. Now it became, she knew that so much of that plus the tech that I was not very confident with yet. And I was like, this is how you show up on camera using your voice. And we just really worked together and molded a program that became a program before our website was even a thing. I will have to tell you, and Olivia, you have to vouch for this, right? And you speak on this. Our first program was hosted in a Facebook group where all we did was we put videos in the group when the week was available to watch it. We put the modules, we put everything in a group. There was no website, go here, download this, whatever. It was through a group in Zoom links. So it was like baby. Like we were fresh, but we had women spending money to learn what we knew, because what we knew was very, very valuable. It was, don't discredit that you don't have everything put together yet. Still launch what you have. And so we had women, I think we had maybe 12 women, 12 women or something sign up for our first launch. And we were like, wow, okay, so we're doing this. And then from there, it literally kept snowballing and it became better and better and better. And now we're better than ever. And we're like, where did the people go? You know what I mean? Like, where are the women? Yeah, speak on that, Olivia. How do you feel about, you know, what we do and as a whole?
Yeah. So I love how you kind of told how we got to, you know, how we got to where we are. But more than that, I would just say, or to add to that, is that we just really, I just really felt passionate about women, especially women entrepreneurs who want to market themselves in a different way. Like, I get so tired of seeing people DM people like, oh, I got a special deal or whatever, like that's so salesy, or just constantly posting whatever they sell on their sites, you know, on their social media sites, and you don't know, like, a lot of times, what people say about video is like a picture says 1,000 words, a video says 1,000,000 or something like that, or whatever the number is. It's like that, you know, because when you create video, people really get to know you, your personality, your characteristics. They get to see your nuance and also kind of see how you guys are similar, and we are attracted to people a lot of times that are similar to us, or have the same values, or have the same morals or standards or whatever. Some things, everything doesn't have to match, but some things you're like, oh, this is a good, solid person. So, you know, you want to watch them more, you want to be engaged with them. So I think that for me, it's really about showing women how they can do that. And yes, having a YouTube channel and, you know, creating this platform for yourself isn't a walk in the park, but I think what you get out of it is valuable, and it's an opportunity to just really solidify yourself as a brand in this, you know, sometimes we feel like it's a saturated market, and sometimes, you know, it can really feel saturated, but I bet you it's so many more people that aren't even doing what you're doing. They're not even creating videos, so people never even heard of what they do. Sometimes first of all, we always say this, I can find somebody today that has 1 million followers. I ain't never heard of them. Like, never heard of them. Like, where have they been? So it's just an opportunity to show women how they can put themselves out there, how they can really market their brands in a different, fresh way, and not just old, stale type of marketing.
Right, because you don't even have to. And I love when Amber talks about how she got started. She wasn't asking them to buy anything. They just wanted to buy what they seen her have. And so I think that's the beauty of YouTube. People can see what you're doing or whatever, and then it's like, well, how can I get that? And so you just so happen to sell that as well. So, you know, it kind of works out. But I love the fact that she was kind of your test dummy, so to speak, even though you didn't know that that's what you were doing, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it speaks to the fact that before anybody should jump out there with any type of a business, that they have to kind of test it to see, you know, does this work? Does it not work? But, you know, hers was in front of the camera because that's what you were really kind of testing out. But I think that that's important to kind of make sure that it is something of value, because
and a valuable business model, right? A valuable plan, a valuable product, right? And so we did do a lot of testing prior to us getting on, and we still market tested. If you guys don't know, about halfway through, so Amber, we launched her channel, helped some other business owners launch some channels in between that, and then after that, we started coaching, and we started with our first 12. And I had a channel around that time, but I wasn't posting consistently. I really had posted a couple of videos and then just kind of I was too busy at working in the field with everybody, coaching, teaching, designing, doing all the things. So I wasn't really putting myself in the front of the camera. But about halfway, I think around yours? I think it was
Yeah, I think it was my cycle.
your cycle. What was your cycle, 3 or 4?
I could lie and make up something.
4, was it 4?
I think it was 4. Because it was the end of the year. We talked to her during the summer, and then we started towards the end of the year.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was our 4th cycle. And around our 4th cycle, since we did 3 cycles prior to you, and just kind of seeing what people were doing and, our students and how they were navigating the platform and the results that they were getting. Around the 4th cycle, I wanted to retest the what we were doing, what we were teaching. And so I said, okay, I'm about to start my channel, really get serious about my channel, and I'm going to be consistent and see if I do everything that we teach to our people, if I do all of those things, and see like what happens with my channel. Because a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you guys, a lot of times we get the mindset of, oh, it only works for a certain kind of person, right? It only works for a certain type of person or a certain kind of person. And so you might be watching this and you're like, well, I can't do YouTube. I'm not this, I'm not that. You start to disqualify yourself because you're not this and you're not that. And so I wanted to say, okay, hey, I'm a different type. I don't do makeup. I'm not doing beauty. You might think, oh, it only works for beauty people. I'm doing something totally different. I'm a totally different person, have a totally different background and, ethnicity, all the things look different, all the things, right? And so I'm like, okay, let me try exactly what we did for Amber and see if it works for myself. And it did. Now I'm about to hit 7K and it works. It works. But the one thing that we know and we teach is that you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. You have to listen to, our suggestions that we give you of what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. And then you just got to stick with it and you will grow. And that's why we get so excited about Carla's growth here on YouTube. I was talking to Amber about it earlier and we're like talking about you hitting 500. I'm like, I'm so happy that you hit 500 because I feel like around when I felt like it took me forever to hit 500 too. Like it took me I felt like it. Like I don't know. I probably need to go back and see like how long. I know whenever I started my channel, like restarted my channel, I had already had like 200 and something subscribers just that I got over time, right? So I had probably like 200, maybe right around there when I started being consistent. And so, but from that 200 to 300, I felt like, oh my gosh, when am I going to hit 500? Yeah. And then once I hit 500, I felt like now the time that it took me to hit the 500, I was getting more subscribers by the week, by the month, right? I was getting a little bit more. And then once I hit 1,000, I felt like, oh, it's really it's like when you get that momentum, like when you're running down the hill, it starts out slow, but then as you keep going, it just picks up speed. So I was saying earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy she hit 500 because I feel like that's really when my speed just started picking up. So I can't wait to see what happens. And we always say this too when we're coaching is that YouTube and content creation and building out a platform on this YouTube platform is not for the faint of heart. It's not a one and done. It's a sprint. I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? It's going to take time. You have to put energy in it. You gotta want to do it too. You gotta want to be doing it. You can't come on this platform and want like a quick return. Like you can't come on here and be like, oh, I'm about to blow it tomorrow. It happens for some people. It does. But it doesn't happen for everybody. We cannot pinpoint a moment that your channel is going to blow up. It's just virtually impossible for us to say, hey, do XYZ and your channel is going to blow up. It doesn't work unless you do something like, there's been times where people do like they get like a viral video right? A lot of times when they do a viral video and they get like a whole bunch of views, they don't always get a whole bunch of subscribers. And if they do get a subscriber, that type of video 9 times out of 10 isn't probably the real content that they're going to make. And so the people go and they don't come back. So you just got to ban. So now you got a lot of subscribers, but nobody watching your content. Really and truly, YouTube isn't about subscribers. It's about views. It really and truly, yes, it's great. You definitely want to have subscribers because, you know, most times 50%, you know, a good portion of those people will watch your content. Not 50, I say 50%, but sometimes it's even lower than that. Yeah. But what I mean to say is you can't, if you have 500 subscribers, you're probably not going to get 500 views, right? So you do need to grow your subscriber base, but more importantly, you got to make good content. I cannot say this enough. You have to make good content so people actually want to come back and watch your videos so that you get those views, because the views are going to get you to the monetization level. We've been talking about like selling products and doing all those things, but another perk of doing YouTube is that once you get to a certain benchmarks, you now can get paid. You have now opened up another stream of income, and now you can get paid from YouTube for making the same content you've been making. And so now you have the opportunity to monetize on your product or services. You have the opportunity to monetize on, get that stream of income from YouTube. And then there's other things too, like some people don't even sell products. They just make great content, and then maybe they might open up a membership or this or that. So many different ways. I'm not going to tell y'all all the ways you can monetize on YouTube, but there's a lot of different ways. And with that, so that's another benefit of being consistent and just really making great content that people want to watch.
Yeah. And I definitely have to speak to what you said, because it for disclosure, I went through the program. And looking at Amber's numbers at the time was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this because Amber is way up here and like this is not gonna work. But the fact that your channel wasn't, kind of was like, okay, well, she's not, you know. So when you started to begin to do that, then it really helped me, and I'm sure other people, because we've had this conversation within our cycle, that then it kind of became a little bit more real, because you had somebody who was up here, but you also had somebody who was here, and you could steadily see them climb. Because of course, a lot of times when you go on YouTube, most people you're watching do have a lot of subscribers. You're not really watching people who don't have a lot of subscribers, and that's probably because their content isn't really good, if I'm being honest. So you're probably not watching them. So everybody you're watching has all these huge numbers, and you're thinking, I can never get there. Like, that must take forever. Yeah. But watching you kind of make that climb, made it more attainable, more realistic, you know, as we were going through the program. So that was kind of neat to see, and, you know, and an incentive to do that. So definitely. And then the one thing that I kept remember you saying was that you got to think about the time that you started your channel and the time that you're growing, because it's consistent. Like, you know, that is the amount of subscribers you should have for the amount of time that you've been on the channel. And like you said, of course, there are people who just blow up, but the norm is that you grow at this steady pace. You know what I mean? And then which you were saying, you want people to watch your content, and you really don't know that until people are commenting, right? So now I'm getting a lot of comments. So I'm like, okay, so people are watching the content, because otherwise you don't know. You see these numbers, you don't know if they're watching it or not. But then as you're getting comments, then you're realizing, oh, people are watching, and now they're starting to see the value, because they're actually commenting on things in mid video, not the beginning of the video, or they're watching it, you know what I mean? So definitely, you know, you can see a difference. And then, you know, those people are telling someone else, and on and on and on. So definitely, that's kind of where you want to be, because I didn't know this. I was amazed as I was growing in my channel that people pay people to be subscribers. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah. So there are ways, I guess, that you can get subscribers, but again, YouTube is really about your watch hours, you know, and that's why you make the content, because if no one's watching it, you'd be out of your mind to spend that kind of time making content, because it takes time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely, you want to feel like people are watching and appreciate what you do, because otherwise you won't be doing it long, because it is a process. in of
Yeah.
itself.
And that's why I feel like it's so important to do something that you truly love, right? I feel like all of us in our channels, they're still very different, even though Carla and I, we're very crafty people and we do all the things. Our channels are still very different. And I feel like we have the motivation and the drive to continue to create because we actually love what we do. I think people start YouTube channels or start to, do social media in a way and they're like being fake, almost like they're trying to do something because it's trendy or they feel like this is going to give them a lot of views or make them go viral, but they can't sustain that when they are not, truly passionate and truly interested in the subject that they're creating content around.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. So that being said, that's not to say, though we love it, that we don't get burnt out, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great segue to my burnt out. I can tell y'all about my burnt out story. And this is a great segue to once again just tapping on making good content. So I got burnt out around. So I made videos consistently every single week for about a year and a half. And after I started back up. And then around December, I got just done with a bunch of creative projects and I just got totally burnt out. And so I didn't make videos for probably 6 months or more. At the beginning of this year, I did a couple of things, but really consistently making videos, I didn't do it for about 6 to 7 months. And I was burnt out. But over that time, I actually grew because I actually grew almost 2K because around the end of last year, I was very close to 5K. And I thought I was going to hit 5K before January. I actually didn't. I think I was probably like 200 short, part of it because I stopped making videos. And I wasn't really posting much. But I was still growing. So because I spent a year and a half making so much amazing content. I think it's amazing. People tell me it's amazing. Since I spent a year and a half making content every single week, I had built up a great library of videos that continuously attracted people to my channel. And I tell people all the time, I told you guys, I probably wouldn't even been subscribing to my own channel because I'm like, she made a video in about 5 months. I ain't subscribing to this. I'll subscribe to shit. I've done that to people. When I will see their channel, they ain't make a video in a long time. I'll wait till they make another video, then I'll start watching their videos and subscribe because I'm like, I don't know if you're coming back. I don't want to fall in love with you if you ain't come be here. So with that being said, if you may suffer burnout, and I feel like it's not a bad thing to take a break from your channel. Lots of YouTubers have taken a break from their channel or, took time off and have been able to come back and still have grown over time. I just was reading a story the other day where this guy was like, he has several channels and he was like, he made one channel and he got his 100K plaque in the mail. And he was like, I haven't made a video on that channel in almost a year. And I think it was like right under a year. And he got his 100K plaque in the mail. And he ain't made a video, but he made so many great videos prior to his little hiatus of not making videos on his channel that he continued to grow. He continued to grow and he was able to achieve that 100K plaque. So just know that if you do get on the platform and you do get burnt out or you do, suffer from a creative burnout or you just go through a rough patch in your life be lifing and you can't make content, but if you make really good content, if you try your best to make really good content on your channel can sustain itself. Because the great thing about YouTube is that it's not like Instagram or Facebook where a lot of times we put content out there and really and truly after hours or days it's gone. It's just down on the feed. Right. Nobody's going to be scrolling on your feed like that. But the way the algorithm works on YouTube and just the search bar and just it being a Google product and just being able to be searched whenever people Google anything, your content has the opportunity to come up. When you Google, a lot of times the first things that pop up are videos from YouTube because they own, YouTube owns, Google owns YouTube, basically. It's all one company. And so with that being said, your stuff has a way longer shelf life than any other platform out there. My number 2 video still right now is a vendor event video that I did. And I actually just got a sponsorship, got a free tent, all these things off of this video that I made probably like a year and some change. I can't even remember. I know it's over a year old. I know for sure it's over a year old. And that video is right now, for the last couple of months, it's been my number 2 video when it comes to like the views for the month. And it's because it is something that happens every year. There's always going to be new people getting into vending, right? Somebody starting a business and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to see what their experience was, how their setup was, so that video is constantly going to be relevant every single summer, right before vending season starts up, when it's, when the weather gets warmer and fall is coming. People are going to be searching for that content every single year. So that video is going to continue to make me money. It's going to continue to be one of the top videos, around that, in that season. I also have the opportunity to have my Amazon storefront. So I got a bunch of the supplies that I use for vending. I have that link. So that's another stream of income that I have coming in when it comes to that, because now people can buy stuff from my Amazon shop and all those types of things. So it's so many different ways that you can really monetize when it comes to making your YouTube channel. And it just, takes time and energy, but we all are capable of doing hard things.
And YouTube is really just a stepping stone to all those other things. Serena says, yes, it's nothing worse than getting attached to somebody and then they don't show up anymore. Yeah, that is really, really, really bad. So, okay, so let's talk about, you guys obviously know a lot about YouTube, a lot about all those things, because that's what we've been talking about. But now let's talk about the program that you've put together, all this information that people can get to and, learn about YouTube if that's what they want to do.
Yeah. And the last few months, we've had more conversations. Olivia and I, just business in general, just trying to figure out how we can show up the best for our community. And the one thing that we hear a lot from women that either they do get in our program or they do not get in our program is that they wish that they could just like do it at their own pace, right? They just need the freedom and the flexibility because we're all on different time zones, and for when we are available is not really when others are all the time. So women want the quick access and they want it right now. And so that's a decision that we had to make. That was kind of a tough decision, to be honest, because we don't know how that's going to affect or if it would or wouldn't. But we knew that we needed to show up more, just making the content that we enjoy making, which is like girlfriend conversations, real life stuff, because that's how we started, having that on camera together. And women loved that. It was like an outlet and they laughed, and it was just this therapeutic type of hour to get together. And then outside of that, it was the coaching. But a lot of women were telling us that, well, the time zone's a hard thing. I'll never be able to be on a coaching call with you guys. Is there a way, right? There was always like trying to figure out how they could do it. And so we realized we're not going to show up as a coach like that every single week for women. We want them to be able to do it at their own pace. So we have all of our programs set up for as soon as you purchase them. They're all very, very affordable. We have literally chopped our prices way down because we don't physically have to show up every week, but we are there with them, which I think is a beautiful thing because the camera has captured everything that we've done and taught. And so we're still teaching, but in a different aspect. And so we have it all set up to purchase, and you have it to watch as slow or as fast as you want to. You have workbooks and all the access on the website, and then you can kind of do everything at your own pace. And we think that's so cool. And so no woman is going to be left behind. You know what I mean? Just do it and make it happen. And then We have opened up now. You'll see next week during a launch, but we have a new show. And so we have a Patreon community, and we have on our website a place for you to now. You'll see that next week where they can just go binge and watch different tips and techniques on how to master YouTube. You know, so we've really set it up for women to just be able to just have the access immediately, which is what we all want. You know, we don't like to wait on stuff. We want to get it and do it whenever we want to, in the middle of the night, middle of the day. And it's freeing for us as coaches and liberating for us as business women. But it's also, we had to take ourselves out of the equation and think of the woman. And that's how we are. I did a webinar 3 weeks ago, and I literally saw a link. I clicked it, and it was like, you got 30 seconds and the class starts. I clicked it. I bought it. I was in a webinar, and I watched 45 minutes of it. I think it was less than an hour, and I was done. I took notes, and then I implemented right then. So like within 2 hours, I clicked a link and I started implementing what she talked about. And I was like, mind blown. We don't want to even wait for stuff. So why are we having our women wait? So we're done with that. So on our website, you'll notice that everything is at your fingertips and affordable, and there's payment plans and things like that.
Okay. What's the name of the program? As if I don't know, but they don't know. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Our website. Go for it.
You want me to start? So on our website we have our full program, which is Ready Set Record not Mastermind anymore, but Ready Set Record, the program. And basically that allows you to go from like start to finish. So we have all these modules, and it allows you to go, kind of create your channel on like recording and actually publishing videos and promoting your channel. So it's called Ready Set Record. Then we also have a couple of boot camps. So if you're like, oh, I just need a quick little fix, I need to learn how to do this, I really don't, I know some parts of it, but I'm missing some things. So we have an editing boot camp. That's really good. We have a create content. Viewers to buyers. Sorry, we changing names. Viewers to buyers boot camp. And so that's really about how to create the content and how to really make your videos. And so we have a couple different things on there that you can purchase. And like Amber said, we've really cut our prices because we're not having to physically show up every week with our people. You'll definitely still have access to us if you want to be in our Patreon community and ask, just to kind of be with us and kind of watch us create the content that we're creating for our show. The investment is going to be very low. Our Patreon is going to start at $1, and we're also going to have a $4.99 tier, and then we'll have a advertising tier if you want to market your products or services on the show, on our show. And that's just pretty cool. $50. So yes, so we'll have definitely some great options, affordable options for people who really want to start, creating content or just need support in some type of way.
Yeah.
All right. That is pretty cool. So they can find you, it looks like scrolling on the screen, at createcontentacademy.com at A&O Show. And that'll give them everything that they need to get started. It is a woman supporting women platform and community. Now, I mean, that's not to say that you guys won't teach a man something. I'm sure you will if they ask.
Yes.
But, they know everything anyway. They're right. So they don't need us. But but it is women supporting women. You guys, so I don't know what's happening. You guys have dropped a lot of tea on me too. I thought I was staying up on what was going on, but apparently I didn't know what was going on either. Are you guys still going to have your Facebook groups? What's going on with that?
We are not going to have our Facebook group anymore. Our Facebook group will end in January. So we already kind of, actually, Carla, we're going to tell you offline, but we're going to tell you online since you're online now. But you have 2 more sessions with us. You got your November session and your December session, and then we're going to be done with, Zoom calls and those types of things. And we're also in January, we'll also close down because I think that'll be the end of everybody's thing, and we'll close down our Facebook group. And the reason why we're closing down our Facebook group is because...
Yeah, please explain why. Because honestly, you guys,
Yeah.
You got
The
it.
reason why we are shutting down our Facebook group is because we really wanted that place to be a place where people can have conversations, ask questions, be in the know, and just have a place where people, where all of us had one goal in mind, right? We're all creating content. We are all learning new things. We're all, doing similar things in life. So it's like, oh, this is a place where people can come. Well, we've noticed over the time span, I don't know about all of you guys out there, and I know obviously people are still on Facebook because you have your family members and stuff on Facebook. But I don't go on Facebook like that anymore, and because it is it's like a noisy platform, right? Everybody's like vying for your attention. Things are getting lost in the sauce. There's way too many groups. It's way too many notifications or lack of. Like I feel like it went from being too many to lack of, because sometimes when we're going live or posting a thing, it could be days before people really see it because it's just too noisy, too loud. And really, I feel like if our community was really like up in there talking, chatting, I think y'all sleep. A lot of them in our community, they sleep right now. So it's like, why are we having this? Why we got this? So we feel like, and also this is the thing too, and we all hear this, it's like, you contribute to things that you have an investment in. And sometimes when you have a free community, and it wasn't free for everybody. Some people that was in the community, they paid. It was a part of our program, and so that's why we're going to keep it into January and then close it down. But so with that being said, it was a part of the program, but at one point, but now that money's spent, they ain't thinking about that money no more. So they ain't thinking about this group. So with that being said, we're gonna have a Patreon. We're opening it up to our content creators. If you want to be in the know, talk to us, communicate with us, pay $1, pay $4.99, and be on our Patreon. It's cheaper than gas. It's cheaper than a soda. People try to charge me $2. How much they try to charge me for water today at McDonald's? $2.
It was like $2.30 something. You look.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you looked.
Speaking of that, Dunkin' Donuts charges you for butter. So if you get
Butter?
we my husband went to Dunkin' Donuts. It was a while back, and he asked for butter for a sandwich or something. And they were like, "That's going to be, I don't know what they said, 30 cents." Whatever they said, I was like floored. So yeah, people definitely charge for everything. But that then this also speaks to business, because you want your effort to go in a place where you're going to get most results. So if you find that something is not working, then you really do need to reevaluate it, instead of just saying, hey, this is my vision, this is what I set it up to do. So, you got to be able to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, none of what y'all just said apply to me. I'm just putting that out there. I won't find you on Facebook, but I'll be finding you guys. So don't think you get rid of me. But anyway, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You want to make sure that your swing has the maximum amount of effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nobody wants to do anything that people are not really interested in, and I don't think people are like, oh, I don't want to be in this group, or I don't want to participate. I just think people get busy. I feel like people. I'm in a couple Patreons, and I pay attention because I am, even if it's $2, $3, $15, whatever I'm paying for these Patreons and communities that I want to be in, I pay attention to. Even if it's a very low investment, you tend to pay attention to stuff that you pay for. So With that, we feel like with our Facebook group, it's currently free for everybody, so it's not valuable. I mean, I'm not saying it's not valuable, it's just not a priority. It's not important. It's just too noisy, all the things. So that's what we'll be moving to. Our Patreon will be opening up, so you can definitely, the group will be open, but we will not be posting in there, doing nothing there. So the group will still be open to December 31st. But after that, first of all, Amber right now, she is over there very quiet and smiling because she really wants to close this group down. She already closed down one of our groups yesterday, but I'm like, just give them to the end of the year, then we're done.
Yeah, I want to speak on I want to speak on the groups for a second. You know, how it started on Facebook is not how it is today. So if you do use groups yourself right now and it's successful, keep doing it. Keep doing it. But, you know, the pivoting is what we're in a position of doing right now. And I think that, like Carla just said, I mean, you just kind of have to do things that work for you in business. I just on a personal level, you guys, my Facebook told me I was in it didn't even tell me over the number exactly, but it said over 100 plus were the groups that I was members in. And I didn't even know I was a member in them. No clue. Because back in the day, you could just add people. Now it becomes approval and it's a whole thing, but it does get lost. And Olivia always uses the word noisy and loud is what that platform is. It's wonderful for what it is, for like catching up with people just that live locally to you for whatever reason, or you're selling something, you're like, come pick it up from my porch. That's wonderful. But for how we work our business, it does not help our women at all. Period. And so I just want anybody listening that has any type of community online, really think about how you want it to work and what your people are gaining from it right now. And if you feel like you're forcing it and something's not working for you, if it's not fun for you on the platform and you don't even want to get on there to mess with anything, you really got to reevaluate. And we're going to be talking about this more on our show, but I've moved I have a community for my beauty people. I moved that to another platform as well. But I spent one day for like over an hour. I deleted myself out of every group. So it feels really good. I feel very like I lost 10 pounds.
I know that's right. So wait, I just want to say, maybe I need to be a coach. Because didn't I say I did not want all that crap on Facebook? Didn't I say that? Look at that.
You did. You did.
All right. So give me my coaching badge right there. Who knew, right? Yeah. But I think that is key too, because sometimes there's so many of those platforms, right? And like you said, they start off being one thing, but they evolve into so much other stuff.
Yeah.
And to be honest, for me, it is just so much scam to me on Facebook that for business, it is just not. It's so much minutia on there. So I totally get it. I mean, if it's working for you, that's great. I don't know how that's the case, but if it is, that's great. But I agree with you. Definitely need to look and see how, because you talk about, well, we could go on about that forever, but it's just not the intended. And I think a lot of people, at least mature people, right, are kind of recognizing that. They are. You always see those posts that'll say, like, I'm cleaning out my friends because I don't even know these people. Like, everybody is kind of downsizing, I think, on Facebook. I think the only thing that is working, like, selling stuff. So I definitely agree with you, for that. So and YouTube is, even though it's a lot of people on YouTube, that's what it's designed for, because Facebook was really never designed for that, right? So it wasn't sustainable, but YouTube is designed for that very thing. And it's like everything else, like, when you buy something, it comes with a manual because you're supposed to use it in the way in which it was created to be used. And when you deviate from that, you're going to get problems. So we tried to make it something that it wasn't. And it's so funny to me because, like, I think platforms are reinventing themselves. Like, now Twitter turned to X and something else is an A, and then you got it's like it's just not. It's just too much. But anyway, so totally.
I think all the platforms are really reevaluating like what they do and how they offer. And I think, like you said, people are looking at the platforms like, okay, what am I getting out of this, or what is this doing for me? And I feel like with there being so many platforms, it just gets exhausting, like checking everyone. So I really have streamlined my platforms to like YouTube and Instagram. That's where I am. If you want to find me, that's where I'll be. Because I feel like YouTube, that's a place where I can go to be entertained, to be educated, to just, cool my nerves or just relax, watch relaxing content. And then Instagram, if I want to connect with people and see people, and then that's a place where I promote what I do and show my products and services. So I think it's I think, like you said, people are starting to really realize that it's a lot.
So, guys, if you're interested in getting into the social media game, and it's not too late, don't think that it's too late. It's never too late.
Yep.
Go and check out createcontentacademy.com or A&O Show or Amber or Olivia. I mean, anything you search within that frame, you're going to find them. I will vouch for their content. It's awesome. I definitely have to say I'm so glad that you did not change until after my cycle, because I need live. But anyway, the content is good aside from that. So I would definitely say, go check it out. It definitely is a game changer. And I do realize that there are a lot of people, coaches, everybody is a coach nowadays. I'll just say it. Everybody is a coach for whatever it is. You can find a coach to do it, but not everybody is proficient in what they are coaching about. Not everybody stays up on the new changes and developments and whatever. Not everybody is willing to say, you know what, I thought Facebook was great and now it's not. You know what I mean? So when you're looking for coaches and you're looking to invest your money, do a little bit of research, ask people who've gone through the program and different things like that to make sure that, you're getting what you're paying for, because coaching isn't cheap. So you want to make sure that you're getting, the value for what you get. So just beware, about everybody who is saying that they're a coach. But these two I can vouch for. I've been to the program. I can tell you the program works. As much as you work the program, of course, that's going to be the difference. But anyway, we could go on and we could talk for hours and hours.
I know, we really can.
Probably the longest interview that I have done thus far, but I felt with, double the people that it would be double the time. So thanks so much for hanging out with us, for staying on as we got through this interview. But I am going to let you go because I do know it's a Friday night and everybody's heading into the weekend. So again, any parting words you guys want to give before we get out of here?
The only thing I want to say is, whatever you're going to do in life and just in general, if it's social media, if it's not, just show up consistently. Your people are waiting for you to show up. Like, people think like, oh, someone else is doing this. Like, we could have all three said somebody else is doing what we're doing, but it's not. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Ooh, sneeze in the middle of this stuff. It's not you. You have something to bring to the table. You have a different personality and a different perspective. So, just show up and be you.
My thought I want to leave with is, if you are not showing up as much as you think you are, people are going to watch you before they follow, support, trust you. And take a sticky note. And I did this in the beginning, and I put like, no, trust. That was taught to me in the beginning by Olivia as well. And that really helped me in my business, even if it's in-person business, online business, whatever you're doing. It is, your people have to go through that. They have to like you, period. They have to know you. Then the next place is trust. The trust is where the sale comes in. When you're asking them to purchase or do something like that. So follow that. And I assure you that will really get you to a place of not feeling defeated. You just know people have to go through the process.
Yeah. And I'm going to leave you with, be authentic. If the lighting isn't right, if something falls down, listen, go with it, because people like to know that you are real, because that's the things that happen to them. So
yes,
just ride the wave. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much. Tune in 2 weeks from now. I don't know who I'm going to have on. I don't remember who it is, but it will be somebody, and it will be awesome. Just like that. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. In the meantime, check out all of our content that we put out on a weekly basis. So bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Bye.